In the bottom side, in blue, as player 1, we have Master Math playing Vesper. And in the top side, also playing Vesper, but this time in the red is player 2, we have TFJ. This is the second game of the set. For anyone that missed the first game, it was very decisive. TFJ made a slight misplay with a village, allowing for a knight to get a surround on commander, resulted in a very early death. I do think there were some other small misplays as well. He definitely lost a mage early on that he probably shouldn't have. And here we have Master Math going around the side, TFJ doing the same, so we're not going to see any center commander shenanigans. We're just going to see a bunch of swords and the commanders going on the sides. Master Math probably just going to take this village. Yep. This is the more common opening for this map. We're going to see a sword and probably a mage on this square or this square. Yep. And mostly going to see the same thing from TFJ. Going to move the swords forward, do captures, build a mage to decap this village. And the real variant starts happening basically from the turn after this one. Goes for the decap on this village. And a sword comes out. So here is when things start to change. Is this sword going to decap or is it going to go for the capture? What is the commander going to do in response to this? Will the mage, after having hit this, run forward, or will it stay back and capture? You can build a sword to do the capture for the mage. Attacks from the mountain, which is interesting. Normally you attack from the top, but it doesn't really make any difference. I think this version just gives you the option of running left if you really want to. Okay, and TFJ, instead of attacking, goes for the capture again. Moves forward to the road where it's slightly more vulnerable. What are we gonna see this? Yeah, it just runs back and heals off the village. So Master Math has a little bit of a groove advantage, whereas TFJ will have a slight income advantage. Alright, sword comes forward. Goes for the capture, and that's the difference between the two sides. This sword's here to back up the commander, this sword is closer to the center. So the swords on the left are actually gone center as opposed to the right hand side where there's more of a focus on military confrontation. Knight comes forward. Actually starts putting itself in a position where it can threaten headquarters. And TFJ is going to have to walk back, probably to heal. Spear comes out, there is a knight on this side, so they're mirroring each other on the sides to some degree, like knights are coming out. Both taking the tower at the same time. Math having 2 mages. TFJ having 1. That could change at the end of this turn. Knight comes out, threatens. The exact same positioning. The big difference here is that Vesper is further forward on this side. I like this positioning on the sword as well. It just threatens the ability to contest this while also being out of range of the knight. And Gilgamesh, having been the map that was played in round 1, is definitely the map people are the most familiar with. It's been... People could potentially have gotten away with not playing Auranian for quite a while, just because it was so late in the maps that were used in the event, and only one match took place in the Swiss on Auranian. Whereas Gilgamesh, everybody played this map week 1, and everybody who's been in the best of 3s has had to have kept up to date on how people are playing this map in the meantime. No, he didn't capture. Another thing that's important to note on this map as well is that because it's one of the maps that finishes very cleanly in 30 minutes, at least the majority of the time, it is preferred to play on just because people don't have to worry about timer shenanigans as much. Both players are playing this very fast as well. Definitely within the 10 turns in 10 minutes rule. Master Math looking to finish turn 6 on the 3-minute mark. We've got Vesper up on this mountain. Very difficult to contest it while she's up there. The only thing that could even potentially dislodge her would be something like a night crit, but that isn't going to happen. Now, there's a little bit more army here. The spear is going to be quite useful. Vesper can move forward. He is only vulnerable on one side. So, yeah, she can just capture that village without having to worry. And if we take a quick look at the income, TFJ still has that slight lead. Using the capture on that village earlier and decapping that village. Math favoring getting groove over dealing damage, or over recapping the village, I should say. The TFJ just maintains like a very, very slight economic lead. And is banking money every turn, so he's definitely going to keep enough. If he wants to get a dragon, he can get a dragon if he wants to, but he goes for a golem instead. He's going to be very needed because fighting a commander on one side without a golem, like you can do it with knights and a mage, but ooh, math immediately gets a dragon out. Recognizes that there's only 2 mages. This golem's a big threat, but the dragon can do quite a lot of damage to it. There's a lot of road on this map as well. The dragon has lots of juicy targets. Gets a dog, which I like. Gonna be good against these swords. There's still quite a lot of them. There's spears coming out. No heavy units on this side. There's no knights, no golems. These dogs are going to be quite effective against the infantry. And gets 2 just to allow for the crit condition. Picks off a unit with Vesper. We'll continue building groove. Has the groove lead, which is really nice. And Vesper mirrors, I'm not entirely sure how they play out. Just because, like, if your opponent throws down smoke, can you just throw down smoke on yourself? And not have to worry as much. Be a weird play, but it would work. We're even seeing like these spears are lined up. There's slight asymmetries, which are becoming more apparent as things like the dragon and the golem come out. But a lot of units are ending up in the same spots. And TFJ continues to have a gold lead. This village was not decapped. So he is going to be able to potentially... And here's the thing, like when you're on a 1400 to 1200 income difference, that's huge because you can then build a golem and something out of the other X. You could build a dragon and another unit out of your barracks if you want to. You could bank a slight amount of money and build a dragon and 2 swords. It does open up a lot of opportunities. Whereas if you're on that 1200, that slight disadvantage just from one village, suddenly you can only build a golem, or you can't even build a dragon. You have to bank to build up a dragon. (1300s) versus 1300 maps are very razor thin in terms of like who has the advantage. But once you do get that advantage, it becomes very almost snowbally, very difficult to put the counter pressure on. I like this golden position. You can only be attacked from the road. Okay, so TFJ has a witch at the end of his turn, gets a mage and a dog out, and still has a little bit of gold to spare. Witch is going to struggle a bit. It's very much a response to this dragon. It does have some uses, like Hex is going to be very useful, especially against Vesper. When smoke comes down, you can drop a Hex on it and it's like one of your few options to do damage against her in that circumstance. That said, there are mages that are going to be very well protected, so the witch is always going to be vulnerable. Vesper walks up, hits the village. She is going to have groove, and TFJ is only at 35%. So while TFJ has been favoring the economic lead in this game, it is definitely going to have its drawbacks where math has been favoring getting the groove up. And that's going to allow for things like he could be aggressive with the dragon and be able to use it completely punish free. There would be no counterplay. And because he's going to have groove next turn, he can be very threatening. Because if his army's in striking range of the opponent's army, he can attack for free. So he's going to posture forward very, very strongly. And despite having an economic disadvantage throughout almost the entire game, this groove advantage is going to be huge. Builds the witch of his own. This is also very good against this witch, because you just put the witch next to the dragon, and even if the dragon is vulnerable, it's only going to take 40% damage from an enemy witch. Very not fun to take that much damage, but witches are very frustrating to fight with. So how is this going to play out? TFJ almost just has to move back. Doesn't have too many options. Can't even like move the commander to like the road tile because she'll just die. We could see something like the dragon flies in, hits the headquarters, smoke comes down. You could even put smoke down first and have the dragon attack from underneath smoke. Just depends on how you want to play it. TFJ is going to take a little bit longer to think out this turn. He does have some really nice options, like being able to just like decap this village with the sword. Dog can move up and cover it. Oh, going to use the golem? Uses the sword. Threatens the counterattack on this. Doesn't use the sword to cover, so this golem's just going to threaten over here. Could get hit by the dragon. Oh, and I see why he used the golem from this side, so the dragon can't get a crit on it. And the mage threatens it, so that's quite good. Witch moves over here. A lot of pressure's just coming down on this headquarters. And maybe that is the play. Maybe the play is you have enough defense here to survive whatever Vesper is going to throw at you this turn. Keep this alive. Probably go for a capture on this again. And then you just threaten counter pressure, so she can only smoke one area, so you just split it into two fronts. And I do like that he's also surrounding his commander, because smoke cloud comes down on her and she is in a lot of trouble. But there's even like an escape route, so this mage being here is super important, because now Vesper, oh, it opens up one side. Not really the end of the world. It's gonna be really difficult to surround her still, but she can like create a path just to walk away. As long as this spear lives. Or at least if the spear lives and doesn't get replaced. Ooh. Uses this knight very, almost sacrificially, but that's a big income advantage he's going to have at the end of the turn. So a lot is going to have to be spent on decapping villages. And another mage comes out. So lots and lots of heal potential, lots of anti-air over here now. But I think TFJ's in an okay position. It does just depend on how Math does his turn. He has options of punishing. He could, in theory, just kill off this side of the map. Drop a smoke cloud. Get a lot of damage for free. You could pick the knight off with the spear. Two witches is actually quite scary, because now this witch is not going to be able to crit them as long as they're together. Double hex means 20% less health on everything before the fight starts. The witch is well positioned because this mage can't get to it. So yo, how is Math going to do this? This is quite bleeding edge, but okay, we're gonna try and see a kill. Okay, mage goes down. I think surround is possible here. You want to decap and capture this village as well. The only thing that can really, I guess the mage could walk up and hit. And then you can at least like decap the village. If not, I don't think the capture is possible anymore. But then I guess you just drop the cloud on her, but it's like you also need to keep Vesper alive while doing this, but Vesper has infinite range, so you could like walk back to somewhere relatively safe. And the witches, oh right, so this witch can hex. This witch could not quite hex the dragon. The master's thinking about where he's going to put the smoke. The kill is basically guaranteed here. If he does this right. The smoke just needs to be correctly positioned. There's one mage that can heal. And yeah, like even if Vesper does live. Right, so just gonna throw more units into this. We're gonna see a big smoke cloud come down on all of it. Math really thinking about this turn. Okay, that was quite significant. This weakens Vesper even more. The smoke just needs to go down on her. Because Vesper, like, if this gets weakened enough, Vesper can't heal off of it. The mage heal isn't going to be enough. Math, I think he's just taking his time because he just wants to make sure that this is over. Wants to know that he absolutely can for sure finish this next turn. Yeah, he's just gonna weaken the village. One, two, three, four. Oh, there's a thing here. Oh, right, this is the smart play. Because the sword, otherwise the sword could run through and capture it again and the heal would be a lot stronger.
I cast a long shadow.
And smoke cloud comes down. So yeah, there's gonna be what, 11% off of this village? Golem runs down, kills dog. Or the mage runs and kills dog, Golem hits this dog. And the witch comes in. Sword fall up. Mass spent a lot of time on that turn, but I think this is game. We will see if Vesper or TFJ can think of a way to get out of this. No, and for the person asking in chat, smoke just means nobody can attack anyone that's underneath the smoke, which is friendly and negative as well. So generally you see what you would think would be you throw it down on an edge and like you can then attack the units that aren't in smoke for free, but what mostly happens is you would do all the attacks first, then throw smoke down. Is an extremely strong option. Vesper having a very high ban and win rate in this event. Okay, so we're just gonna see go and kind of just walk up, hit the headquarters. And that's the obvious play, right? Like you're not, this army isn't going to affect this front, so you might as well do this side of things first. Witch Hex comes down, makes sense. Probably going to see this one follow up and do the same. Heals Vesper. This mage can also heal Vesper. And the sword. Depending on how much health she has, I mean there's 2 witch hexes though, that's really nasty. This witch comes in, does a hex as well. Heal comes down, 73%. Not completely over. I would like to see some kind of effort made to clear this sword. Heals the knight. All his gold done. He's used 200 to buy swords this turn. Alright, just finishes the turn there. Smoke comes down. We're gonna see 2 witch hexes. Dragon and yeah, dog will do it. Could even have potentially suicided the dog first, but 2 witch hexes. Down to 53%. Probably going to see a mage heal come down. Just to allow the dragon to do some more damage. And yeah, like a knight hit follow up will finish the game. Yeah, mage walks here, heals everything. Math, just doing, probably sitting there thinking like, is there some more stuff I could do here? But no, I think this is very much game. And if this commander hadn't gone surrounded, this side would be actually really quite threatening, but we probably would have seen smoke get thrown down over here. Oh, even knocks that down. Are we gonna see an attempt to clear this sword to open up another side? Nah. We're just gonna see it get killed. Oh, is he actually gonna try and clear and kill with the mage? Yep. So even more damage potential there. And ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, Master of Math is your second Groove of War number 4 finalist, taking it over TFJ in a very convincing and fairly swift fashion. That entire set was done in, I'm gonna say like 40-45 minutes. This stream has been going for under an hour, but yes. Congratulations to Master of Math. TFJ getting to the semi-finals in their first ever Groove of War event is pretty damn good either way though. So well played to TFJ. Taking it a lot further than I think anyone expected. And they're not out. We have the third place match as well, and that is to decide, the winner of that match does get a prize as well. The prizes of course being, first place picks the prize first, second place picks the prize second, and so on, with top 3 getting prizes and some other bonus prizes coming up as well. So TFJ still has more Groove of War 4 ahead of them, but for now we have Master of Math versus Shu coming up in the finals.